Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. We are on tour 12, and over the last 100 days I've taken this garden from green grass to where it is now, and I want to thank you for being part of that. Sort of a celebration to getting the garden to where I want. We're going to change how I do the tour videos. It's going to be more of a blog style. I'm going to answer a lot of questions. We'll talk about tips, tricks, and different things along with the tour video. And one question I always get is, how do you work full-time and how do you manage a garden this size? Well, recently I've been getting help from people. They come in, they donate their time for about an hour or two, and then I teach them about vegetable gardening. Kim, you're doing a great job. When we're done here,
thanks.
I'll teach you about pruning tomatoes.
Sounds good.
Let's go to the other side of the garden and we'll start the tour over there. So for those of you that don't know her, that was Kim from CaliKim. She has a YouTube channel that she operates off of the West Coast with her husband, camera guy, and they came and visited me about 2 weeks ago. And I just wanted to use that clip to kind of formally end the standard tour videos that I've been doing. I'm going to go more to a vlog style, the Rusted Garden Homestead vlog. It's going to come out at least once a week on Sundays, maybe more often, but it's going to be more than just a tour. I'll always do kind of a walkabout through the garden, but I want to just give you an update of what's going on during the vlog, talk about my ideas, let you see what I'm constructing. We'll throw in some Q&A, questions and answers. Lots of people ask questions all the time about different things that are going on in the garden. I want to be able to answer those and just kind of change it up a little bit. I also got a gimbal and a new camera, so I'll be able to kind of go back and forth, show my face, show the garden, and everything should be nice and smooth. So what's been happening right now? And then we'll get into the garden, and I just want to talk about the last 12 tour videos because so much has changed. But what's been going on is I built the garden. We're changing the house inside and outside. The outside's going to get painted white this week. We got our fence painted. It's now a white picket fence. In there used to be, let me go back a little bit closer, was the orange decking that was a ramp really, and we flattened it out, and I'm kind of creating a room in here. I'll talk about that as it finishes up. And the whole idea for this space was to flatten the ramp, get rid of that orange color. This is going to be painted white. And you'll be able to sort of stroll through this garden room and kind of work your way down, probably drop a grill or something right here. This is all going to be a kitchen garden over time. And then you would just step down and come into this 10-foot by 10-foot space, have, you know, metal chairs and more of that kind of French style, cottage style metal table, chairs, some sort of structure here with vines growing up it. And a lot of people ask me, how do you come up with your ideas and designs? And I really get it from watching YouTube videos, looking on Instagram, kind of look at the lay of the land, see how it kind of speaks to me in a non-crazy way, and kind of just get a feel for it and let it develop, talk about it a lot, make changes on the go. Like originally this was not designed to have a 10-foot space here. The railings were on, we decided to remove the railings and just kind of go with the flow and see what comes to be from where you envision it and then the final product. But from here we'll be able to sit and just look around the property. The butterflies are starting to come into the butterfly garden there. So I think come next year, you know, things are going to really have grown into kind of what I see the vision of the homestead to be for the gardens. Took the wood from that deck and I'm building this area. This is going to be another space. Building raised beds in here. These are going to be for flowers. So I'm repurposing the wood. Those are the septic tank tops, so I'm going to cover them up with some boards. This was all cinder block, so we've changed this up to make it look more like the original upper part there. So things are changing. And oh my god, forgot about this cattle panel. I've been trying to get this for months. I finally got my 8 pieces. It's going to be my trellising. However, I did a lot of trellising in there already because I wasn't able to get all this. This is only about 24 bucks. In fact, we got it 10% off. It was a sale day for a 16-foot piece of cattle panel that's about 4 feet wide, but it's perfect. Nice heavy gauge. So I'm going to do a lot with this, but probably not till the fall when I can get in there and move my other trellises around. So we are going to do the walkabout. But for those of you that have been following me, I'm going to go back and show you how this garden transitioned over the last 12 tour videos. And if you are just finding my channel, I moved here December 31st, 2018. So for the last 6 months, I've been turning pretty much 2 acres that were a blank slate into a garden. So let me just show you how this progressed real quick from nothing to where it is now. Garden isn't going to have the fence put up tomorrow. I thought that was going to happen, but it's going to happen next week. So this is a quick tour. Things are getting into place. In another week or so, this should be all fenced in, and we'll get to building the raised beds and taking care of everything. And again, here's one more quick look of the area that's mostly getting set up. This is where we will start with, you know, simple barbecues and gatherings, because this space is getting set up. These are all going to be set up into the framed beds, the raised beds, some decking like I talked about before. These are probably going to trim out this walkway right here. So today I want to get this whole space set up. I want all the raised beds coming down this way to be built. I want to get them filled. I'm really going to start planning everything now. But this is how the garden's looking. Still have a lot of space. I am feeling the pressure a little bit because I want to get everything really set up so I can get to shooting more videos, relaxing, and just watching things grow. Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. In today's tour I'm going to show you what I'm growing in the beds, what I've changed up, what I'm designing. I just showed you how I set this up, I think, last week, and some people were saying, you know, you shouldn't have beds right down the middle, but I just wanted to be clear, this is the walking path down the middle. So I'm growing in containers. I just added those, dropped in some lavender from my previous home right in there. Now, if you don't have the extra money or the time, you don't need to build raised beds or framed beds. I'm going to do a lot of different options in this garden. This is going to be a basic earth bed. We're going to mound it up, and down this, I think it's about 25 feet, every foot or so, I'm going to put a tomato plant. Every 2 or 3 feet I could put a zucchini plant, one or the other. Second year kale. Let's come over here. Got onions in. And then I use 2 more of the window wells, and these are all flowers to bring in pollinators. A lot of times they do a lot of damage to your tomatoes and fruits. They're pecking at it. They're not really trying to eat it. They're looking for water. So you can actually bring in a bird bath. I had some on the other side of the house. I'm going to bring them in there soon. Bring them in here soon. But give them water. Give them something to eat. They should leave your plants alone mostly. So let's start with the fruit area. So this weekend, all the blueberries on the left are going to be dropped into the ground just about where they are. So this will be a whole blueberry area. The kiwis, different grapevines, different fruit plants will be spread out throughout the yard. And eventually I'm going to have to probably build a cage over these to keep birds from eating everything. But this year I'm just letting everything get established. Hops vines, I have 4 of them. This one actually came back in the container. It was a little more slow to grow. But you can see they're all growing nicely. They'll be trellising throughout the entire fence. Here's the other container garden, doing extremely well. This is where I'm growing lots of flowers to bring in pollinators. These are the first tomato plants I put in. They're getting to size. I'm going to continue to prune them, manage them. Did not do many videos this weekend because I've been really trying to get this section up to speed where I want it to be. So I've added a lot to it. I'm feeling pretty good. So we're going to do a tour video. Here is Tucker, my grand puppy, who is getting pretty large now. Hey, Tuck. Hey, come on. He loves to eat mulch. I don't know what it is. What are you eating? Come on. Trellising wise, I just did a video on 10 different ways you can trellis plants. I just added, I'll be doing another video. I'll link that video, number 1. But this is mesh ladder right here. And you can see that I made an arc. Haven't been able to get my cattle panel. I'll be growing beans up that. So I just want to show you, highlight a couple examples. Last week or so we've had rain just about every day, lots of rain. In fact, 2 sinkholes have opened up around my property that I'm taking care of now. With rain comes great growth of weeds and your plants, and I wanted to just start here. This is my raised bed area, you know, and kind of just for background, I've set up my main garden in different ways so that you can kind of look to see what pieces may fit your needs. I am very grateful for being able to get this property and transform it over, and hope that the size of this garden doesn't intimidate you. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to show you many different ways you can grow vegetables, and you can kind of pick what you'd like that fits into your space. And you know, I think today is actually July 23rd. Things are growing extremely well. We're coming out of that crazy 115-degree heat index. We had almost 100-degree days. So much going on. These are raised beds that you can purchase, metal containers, any kind. I don't necessarily recommend the name that's on here, but there's no bottoms in here. That's a question I get all the time. There is no bottom in here, so the plant root systems can grow into the ground, but these are just filled with hardwood mulch. And this is a red beefsteak tomato plant doing extremely well, growing in really a soilless mix. The zucchini's doing well. Let's just see if there's anything in there. Dust down on the bottom. I've talked about that in other videos. Oh, there's one. So we got a massive zucchini in there. I did a video on how to maintain and take care of your squash. I will link that. And he's been doing well. I did that video about 2 weeks ago. Showed you how to spray, deal with insects, all kinds of different things. And the plant's pretty resilient. But this is one space growing in galvanized steel containers. Coming over here is really one of the last beds that I put in, simple framed raised bed. Second wave of winter squash, summer squash, another cucumber. And I was saying before, don't be afraid just to replant. Don't spend a lot of time dealing with plants that may be dying off just to save them. I know it's sad. But you can replant. Cucumbers and zucchini will grow within, sometimes 45 to 60 days. Tomato hedge is looking good. The butterflies are out and around. Things survived really well with the heat. I was just shooting video on that table for All America Selections. I do work with them. Working on a video soon about the watermelons, which are doing extremely well. I have cantaloupe in there too. You can see them. I think there's 2 in there. Well, let me come back over here, because this is one thing I was talking about. Over here to my left was the first wave of cucumbers. I think they were straight 8s or something like that. And that plant's getting a little bit beat up. There's cucumbers there. I'll take care of it, give it some fertilizer, give it another spray, a peppermint oil spray on the undersides of the leaves, take care of it. But when that plant that you just saw was a little bit smaller than that size, I planted in a bunch of Boston pickling cucumbers into the ground, and this is my second wave. And this plant is massive. It's just growing extremely fast now that it's getting a lot of sun. It's being fed regularly, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So plant your cucumbers in waves. I even have some in a cup that I just dropped about a week ago. So here's actually, I just want to show you 2. Third wave of tomatoes. These are 2019 All America Selections winners. This is the green light variety. But they got planted about a week ago. So I'm going to put in a third wave of cucumbers. You have plenty of time to do that. And again, here's just a quick look at the wood I'm repurposing. I'm going to drop 2 beds here. The little shed is shaping up. The doors are going to be painted black. Closer look at what I'm doing here with the septic tanks. And I'm actually going to pick up some old, watering pumps and put them on the corners of here to kind of make it look cool, hopefully. Let me pick that up while we're here. And then these are going to be filled with just shredded hardwood. So if you want to subscribe to the channel, I'll show you how to cheaply fill this with shredded hardwood. Feed it probably with blood meal, get some nitrogen in there, let it start breaking down, and I'm going to be able to plant flowers directly in here without having to spend a lot of money on bringing in topsoil and potting mix and all that kind of stuff. Just very happy with how things are going. Yellowing on the top of the tomatoes there, that's from the high heat we had. That's die off from the heat. That's nothing to worry about with your plants. Have a video on shade cloth and the high heat, how you deal with the tomatoes. I'll link that in the iCards. Let me just show you real quick the Big Zack. This has to get weighed. I cannot find my scale, but that's got to come off. So hopefully, that's about 2 pounds. But nice large tomatoes for the tomato grow-off 2019 that I'm doing. But simple shade cloth can lower the temperature around your tomato plants by 10 to 15 degrees. Look at all these. Juliette's, Chef's Choice Yellow, There's one that rotted out. I got to get in here after all this heat, Chef's Choice Black, and really pick everything again. And one of the things I wanted to show you, maybe the last thing for this video, I think we covered a lot, is the different trellises. So these are different beans starting to go up, going through here. This is where the cattle panel is going to go at the end of the season, so the cattle panel will be right in this space. But this is where I am at as of July 23rd. Thanks so much for being part of the Rusted Garden Homestead. I really appreciate it and enjoy meeting all of you from really around the globe. Look at all those tomatoes. I've actually been hibernating for the last 2 days because the heat here was ridiculous. It was 66 last night, so it finally broke. But I get to get out here, clean all this up, and get things back in shape. Thanks for watching, and please remember the Rusted Garden Homestead tours are now going to be a vlog. It's going to come out every Sunday, usually Sunday morning, and maybe, you know, twice a month or twice a week. Thanks for watching. Check out my seed shop at therustedgarden.com.